Peace, family. It's Chi Vital, and I'm back with another tool for your toolkit and how to create your life. Today, ladies, I am doing another toxic femininity video on shaming. And this video in particular is going to focus on one of our cultural statements: mama's baby, papa's maybe. The discussion goes really, really deep. I think deeper than most of us understand from where the actual quote came from. And so I'd like to spend some time just getting into a bit of the history of it and then talk about how it affects the lives of women all throughout time in our communities, in our families, and amongst us as friends, mothers, aunties, grandmothers, and all the above. So as you tune in, let me know that you're here. Shout out to the HOC family. We are live and in the building. Thank you for thumbs up this video when you get in. Hashtag notification squad. Let everyone know that I'm live. Let's get into this. We began not really getting all the way into the details, but I asked all of the members of HOC if they would be interested in talking about this. So for some of you, it may be extra sensitive, so I will warn you, because if you've experienced this, either you've participated in using the terminology or you've been a victim of the terminology and you have not had a space to express yourself and how that may have felt for you. I'd like for us to use this space now as I'm live sharing a bit, just enough history about mama's baby, papa's maybe, where that came from, and what it implies in different ways. I'm not really sure that everyone always understands the implication of such a statement, but I myself have experienced being told this before in a real life scenario, and it was not very cool for me. I did not respond well to it at all. So if you have experienced this conversation is definitely going to be dope, and I want to hear your voice as well. All right? I'm just checking the other screen. I see y'all saying peace, but this one will let me see you all better. Peace is going on, Tamika. Hey, Sade. Peace. Shout out Denise Wilson. Hi, Cherie. Hi, Angie. And hi, Shay. How are y'all? All right. So I'll share the history first. So the term mama's baby, papa's maybe, came from literature written by a Black feminist scholar, Hortense Spiller. All right. And she wrote an essay discussing how the Black family structure was recreated in America to place the woman as the father of the family, because the actual absent father would have been the white slave master. And then there also were laws where the mother was, her name and whatever tradition she had were given to the children. And then we know that the children that were born of her, even if they were not of the slave masters, but of another slave on the plantation, that they too belonged to the master. And so there was created this family structure where the Black man was taken out of that dynamic. So initially, mama's baby, papa's maybe. We have Black women who are taken from their natural family units in the fields, raped, impregnated, sent back home, or taken in the house for a while. And although she may have belonged to her beloved out in the field, she was giving birth to another man's baby. And so then as that develops and we continue to have this this conversation, or we use this very loosely, there are many single women families, and some women use this term to empower her by saying that because she's the mother, um, she's ultimately responsible for this child because it's mama's baby, papa's maybe. And so without any other reason, she has no way to deny her responsibility. And how do I know that? Because that was told to me. And it wasn't the part that my child could possibly not belong to me. It was more so the woman who said this to me felt that she was being wise in letting me know that um, my behaviors as wanting to enforce. I was not fully developed in my own femininity, but so I was more of an enforcer. Was trying to enforce a certain kind of interaction, and from her stance of being a very independent caretaker for her family, independent and sole caretaker for her family, she was like, this is the way it is. Like, you take care of your child always, and that's because that's your baby. Like, yeah, sure, you made the baby with someone else included, but ultimately that's your baby. And I was so pissed about that because even at a young age, I was like, that's ridiculous. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not living my life like that. And so thankfully, I am a very, very happy co-parent. And I don't live like that. So shouts out to the co-parents. The other side of it though, because that's like a little pat smack, kind of like more of an ego thing, I guess. Or like I would say, I would put it in the category of toxic femininity, because it's like, I'm woman, hear me roar. I can do everything. I gave birth to these children. They all belong to me. They're my property, and daddy can come and go because whatever. Like, they're of my womb. Um, which I don't believe is really the most powerful position for us as women. The part about shaming is that there are women who have either stepped out of their relationships. Let's talk about it. They have, let me just be more raw, y'all know. So they've cheated on their partners, or there are women who have been raped while in a relationship, but somehow whatever the circumstances were, they may have fallen in love, whatever it is, it's outside of the relationship that they were in, if they were in one, and they become pregnant. And in doing so, there are people who may know that the pregnancy was outside of the parameters of their relationship, and there are people who may not know. And for the people who don't know, there is a level of weight carried on the woman's behalf who knows. So I don't know about you, but growing up, Jerry Springer, Maury, those shows were really popularized, and the most exciting shows or topics were, are you the father or you're not the father? And it can get deep because it's entertaining drama, but it actually has ruined people's lives. It's ruined people's lives because when a child is born, there is this innocent being who was created, no doubt, circumstances. We don't know if they were good or bad, but when they're good, as far as the woman and the man who came together and they had this child in that energy of whatever passion, whatever love. This innocent being is present, and the woman is there either not knowing whether this child was a gift of her relationship or a gift of her dishonesty. And I'm saying gift only because personal belief, children are a gift. Like, not everyone can bring children forth. For the person who gives birth to a child that they're unsure of who to share that celebration with, that may be more of a burden. But this comes down to, how do we hold space for circumstances outside of the fantasies that we like to paint for ourselves as women? So when we say just in the air, oh, mama's baby, papa's maybe, we don't always know who we may be shaming, because we don't know if a person is actually knowing in their heart that that's a real question, that it's definitely their child, but the man who is playing the father role may not be the father. Now, if he doesn't know he's not the father, that's more of the burden. If he knows he's not the father, but he's chosen to be the father, and people around are using that terminology, it's shaming, it's demeaning, it is disrespectful, it's hurtful, and it's toxic. There's like nothing nice about the statement, but we use it anyway. Like, whatever. So I'm curious as to, what do you all think about that terminology? Mama's baby, papa's maybe, especially now that I've even given you a little bit of history concerning the term, the statement, right? Because originally, like I said in the beginning of the video, the mama's baby, papa's maybe, representing the absent father, was the white slave master who has taken this woman, impregnated her, and he's gone about his white family's life. So there she is, technically a single mom in the making. There's some of the background. So, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts, family? Vicky Washington says, okay, you opened your legs. Well, say more about that. Say more about it. Well, obviously, if a woman becomes pregnant, she opened her legs. We don't know if that was by force or not, but let's let us discuss the woman who chose to do so. Because, like, on the flip side, what happens is like, a woman with a single child, because I'm an only child, right? But single children, they don't go, oh, only child maybe, because your papa is not a term, it's not normal, like. But there's a woman with all of these children, and it's just something we don't think about. We just say. We just say. So Vicky, you said it's no business of others, just the ones involved. I agree with that. That who the natural father is to the children, I don't think that that's anyone's business. And I agree with you. I agree with you, Miss Freeze, Miss Fee. Sorry. I agree with you. But while it's nobody's business, it's also a statement that I think is really rude that people say. And women, we shouldn't say that to each other. I don't think so. If you agree with me, you can let me know. But because it's such a private issue where the people involved should be the ones who know what's going on, imagine people coming into the space and saying things like that. It can create a very nasty energy because what's the history of it? My grandmother said, if you opened your legs, it was my responsibility to own my child with pride and dignity. Yeah. So what I miss, I'm a bit late to this day. I used to say that, but I don't hear it as often anymore. Okay. So what I'm hearing you say, Vicky, is similar to what I was told is that um, women have been held to a very, I'll say, strict protocol that if you open your legs and you allow yourself to get impregnated, that you are solely responsible for taking care of your child and your children. Okay? And while that's absolutely true, I counter that argument with you didn't lay there by yourself. Okay? You did not lay there by yourself. And it's not healthy to shame women who either fight for the involvement of their children's fathers, and it's not healthy for the women who may have realized that the father of the children may have been more equipped to take care of those children. And so she put those children in the father's care predominantly and decided to be caretaker from the sidelines, you know, in a way where we're used to seeing the fathers when people are separated. Um, Reason being because the facts are not everyone's equipped to be an efficient parent. But besides that, how are we going to create space for those women who need more support in their development to understand and have the onus of that responsibility of being a mother? Because it's so much more than just giving birth. Just like it's so much more than, being able to knock a lady up than to be a father. So how do we address shaming one another who may be in a position that is just not the way they planned it to be? Because there ain't too many women getting hit with that one who planned it to be the way it is. Wow, my ex and I divorced, and my daughter stays primarily with me, and my son primarily with his father, and so many people have so much to say. Yeah, of course. Like, people have all of the opinions to say about people's circumstances outside of the actual system that's been created for peace. I would really be interested in, I know that it's sensitive for anyone to share that they've had the experience of either having to procreate with someone else outside of their relationship in order to even give birth. Because that's another thing. You see what I'm saying? It's never just black and white. All right. And but I'm interested in really, what space is there to even discuss that? Sisterhood circles should definitely provide that. But I'm usually going for these terms that we use. I want that joint ripped out of people's mouths. It is not mama's baby, papa's baby. Like, how about it's not your freaking business? If I say this is the dad and he's the dad, that's what it is. It's my goddamn. Mind your funky business. Mind your funky business. All right? Nobody come shame people when you don't know everything. Let me see. Alex said she just released a song about this particular situation. Let the artist give it to you. Enjoy life in the arts. You feel me? So let's just pew, 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 take that one out of our mouths. All right? I have 3 baby daddies and 1 husband. Okay, Vicky. And I want to say, being able to say that with no shame, like this is what it is. And even more beautiful is that, you know, from a place where most women who are interested in committed relationships, the ultimate, they want to one day be married and settle down. You know, they go through a couple of relationships along the way to get there. It is what it is. You know, the way we are made is that we can't hide how many children we've had. We either have them or we're not having them. And because of that, we need to be able to be as confident and strong about our decisions and the ways that we carry ourselves and live our lives, and be free to be who we are without shaming each other on top of that, because there's already a whole stigma about the fact that women, we carry evidence, open evidence of having been in a relationship where you have shared, like you have the children. Okay? You can't hide them things. Them things come out and want cookies. You know? You're just trying to be on a date and they want dinner. You gave them dinner, now they want second dinner. Meanwhile, the guy who's on the date got 10 of them, but you know, ain't nobody calling his phone. They at home with their mama. Let's keep it real. You feel me? So that's all I wanted to talk to you all about today. You can inbox me if this video touched on a nerve and you'd like a way to release the tension or the burden of having to hide who you are, what you've experienced, and what you've overcome. Because you're worried about these nosy ass, not minding their funky business people judging you around you, or people changing their whole mind about who you are as a person because you did something once upon a time that was outside of their cognition. Let's see, I think most important thing is you are a good mother. Do you take care of your kids? Not how many baby dads you have. Yeah, I mean, you would think that. I agree, dope goddess. It is important. Are you taking care of your responsibilities? You know? Because then we have artists who do the same thing, and it's like, oh, that's fly. You know, I love Erykah Badu. Erykah Badu, if you watching this, I love you. King Chi to you, I love you. Y'all let her know I said that. But you know, she has had multiple children's fathers. And she's living her life. She's living her life. I do too. I have to. And I'm living my life. I'm in love. I'm enjoying it. My children are happy and they're well taken care of. And my family, my blended family, is dope. So it's not really an issue. But that term, mama's baby, papa's maybe, throw it in the garbage. We don't want that no more. We ain't about that. No mas. Okay? No mas. No mas. When we are on our own, we're taking care of our family. When we're in a unit, we're taking care of our family. Nobody needs to come around talking about who's who and who's not. One unit, one family. Period. All right? Throw that in the trash. I like that. You're welcome, Alex. You're welcome. So that's all for today, ladies. Thank you for joining me in the HOC living room as we have this little chit chat. And I'll get back to you. Peace, love, and bliss. I'm out.